Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Dentistry. Hello, guys. You can't see the thing. Preemptive like, history hit, original link to the video, top of the description. My name's Connor. If you're new, let's learn about dentistry in medieval times.
Plague.
Fun.
Leprosy.
Oh, good.
Plague.
What a lovely painting.
Leprosy. The common
The more I looked at that, the more terrifying it was.
cold.
Leeches.
To
Internet.
ignore.
Pretty
Even
kinky.
today, visiting the dentist can be a terrifying experience for some. So I've come
really
to the
don't mind
commandery
it.
in Worcester to discover what dentistry looked like during the Middle Ages.
The first thing I've got to do is secure your head.
Medieval dentistry, then. This gives us a pretty terrifying array.
So my mom is a dental hygienist, and so I've been around like these tools around the house my whole life, and they look very similar to the ones around today. Oh my god, this is bigger than it usually is. The thing here, and they're double-sided. Wow,
Medieval dentistry,
it's crazy how similar they are.
then. This gives us a pretty terrifying array of tools. But presumably people have always had teeth. They must have always need to look after their teeth and deal with
Presumably.
problems. What did that look like in the medieval world?
We evolved at like our current physical manifestation body, like not.
Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Thanks, man. That was my other video. Sorry. That was a good one. I'll react to that. Sure. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. So I'm assuming dentistry has not been around forever. Teeth are crucial to surviving. You can't eat food as easily without it. You're going to become very much a burden on any kind of hunter-gatherer group you're in. And so what did they do? Clearly teeth must have survived for quite a bit. Like chewed on roots or something like that? Floss?
People have always had care about their teeth, including the medieval period. Fillings have been done since prehistoric times. We found examples from history of tools that have been manually drilled and filled. So, what problems could you be facing in the medieval period? Decay. Well, not so much sugar around, so the only ones who get near anything like that are the rich. So you're going to find more rates of decay in the rich. The poor, not so much. You might get erosion, teeth being worn away due to using the teeth as tools, having cords in their teeth, causing grooves. They didn't understand about caries. There were some pretty weird ideas along the way.
But did medieval people then think about stuff like brushing their teeth that we do
It's not
every day
medieval.
today?
Yes, they did. Having nice clean teeth was important. Your average peasant, teeth may have been yellow, but that's it.
Controversial opinion here. I think if you had to either never floss again for the rest of your life or never brush again, you might be better off never brushing and only flossing. And my thought process is that flossing gets to stuff that brushing can't. And brushing, I feel like, can be done in a different way that you don't necessarily need a toothbrush, right? So yeah, that was my hot take. I guess it's not that hot of a take.
But we have got some examples here of medieval toothpaste or dentifrices. And you're lucky, Matt, because you're going to be able to try some.
You say I'm lucky, but I don't like the way you smile when you say I'm lucky. Are these things that people would make at home for themselves?
Oh yeah, this one particularly. This is just mint and margarine.
It tastes quite minty, but it's very powdery as well.
Yeah, it is meant to powder.
And is that just abrasive, so it's just cleaning?
Abrasive, removing the plaque from the teeth, even though they didn't understand that. But it's also giving you a nice fresh breath. Are you ready for a second one?
I think so.
Hey, get in some water.
Use a different cloth. Now, this, a bit more upmarket. We've got pepper in this one.
Is that a good thing?
Yes, it is, because pepper was expensive. It's got to come from...
It wasn't because it had some, hygienic purpose. It's just, it was expensive. It's better. This one has gold flakes on it. Does that help? No, but it's gold.
From the east. This is really upmarket. This is a rich person's. Now, this has got pepper, salt, and mint.
I'm sorry, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's that there's a lot of things. Well, nah, I'm kind of laid back, actually. Come on. Give me a break. I'm telling myself to give myself a break. What was I going to say? Oh, my God. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I hate when things are cooler because they're expensive. If they have something about them that makes them just better, better quality, fine. But, like, brand, whatever, why? Who are you trying to prove to?
Oh, getting the pepper. I'm definitely getting the pepper.
Hiccups.
What? Wow.
It might suck, but you're rich.
That's an experience in brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Poor guy
That's
getting
actual
some
medieval
water.
taste.
By today's measures, would that do more of a good job than that would?
They're both abrasive. This has got salt in, and salt was used even to the 19th century for brushing teeth.
Oh, cricket. That's left a taste in my mouth, definitely.
Hey, salt. Like when you get a canker sore or some kind of cut abrasion inside of your mouth, your gums. I know, like, gargling warm water with salt in it is a good idea. So there might be a scientific reason behind that. My neck hurts.
Brushed your teeth. Gilbert Anglicus in the 14th century said this was really important. Right?
100 years
After
war.
every meal, you brush your teeth, you rub a cloth around it to make sure there's no food stuck in between. But now we need to sweeten your... After every meal, you brush your teeth, you rub a cloth around it to make sure there's no food stuck in between. But now we need to sweeten your breath.
You need some kind of twine or cordage.
To make sure we've got a nice mouthwash.
Blood? I wouldn't
Now,
be
this one
surprised.
actually comes from the 11th century.
Pig
It's
blood.
from a early medieval book, the Clachdunga. It
Lakdunga?
contains wine, rosemary, and honey.
Why did I think blood before wine?
It sounds nice.
It does. Rosemary and honey.
Rub it on a
It
chicken.
sounds nice.
It does. Well, you're the one who's going to be trying it.
Just have a sip on it.
And I think you ought to take a good gargle, I think.
Gonna make your teeth red, right?
Do you know what? That's really nice.
It is.
It's really tasty.
It sounds nice. Rosemary, wine, and honey.
And what purpose would that serve?
That's going to freshen your breath. That's going to keep your mouth nice and fresh to prevent any rot setting in.
And I suppose with the honey and the wine, it is killing some bacteria in there.
If you floss and you drink a lot of water, your breath will be fine. Floss, be hydrated. Your breath will be okay.
Maybe.
Yes, and the wine is sweet, so it's also going to be doing some damage.
True.
Yeah. So the problem is you're dealing with a philosopher that really doesn't understand toothache. And the one thing that was believed was that toothache
Leprechauns.
was caused by a tooth worm, a little worm that would burrow up through the tooth
I don't know why I
to
guess
get the
leprechauns.
food on
then.
the outside
Whatever.
and cause pain. Whilst some medical...
Wouldn't they find... there are some things that are believed in the past. I know from hindsight it's so easy to be like, well, how didn't you know this? I understand that it was... You didn't know as many things back then. You didn't have the knowledge there. But wouldn't not finding a worm, again, maybe they did find a worm one time and it was unconnected, unrelated. Ugh. But how does that start? Like, what wouldn't enough amount of times of pulling teeth and not seeing a worm debunk this?
Medical writers believed in the toothworm. Some didn't. The Islamic physicians certainly didn't. They didn't accept it. So we have to go to Gilbert Endicus
Well,
again.
Islamic scholars in the early Middle Ages and early medieval times were actually more sophisticated in a lot of science stuff than Europeans and Northern Africans, right?
In the 13th century.
Not sure about the Far
for
East.
A cure for the toothworm.
So this is, if I've got a hole in my tooth, I believe this has been caused by a worm that's come up.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to someone to try and get some dental treatment.
Oh, yes. However, you'll be thankful, Matt, you haven't got to demonstrate this one. And what we would do,
This guy takes too much joy
we
in
would
this.
get some henbane seeds. These are exceedingly toxic.
And do they just come from a plant in the garden?
Yeah, henbane. Henbane.
Why is bane always used as is it suffix or the ending of a word regarding plants? What does it
can be
mean?
fatal if ingested. So what you would do, you would burn the seeds and inhale the smoke. And the belief was that it will kill the toothworm. But you may end up having some very strange dreams while you're doing it.
Hallucination?
Okay, so you would just get high and forget you had toothache, probably not killing a worm in your tooth.
No, the worm's there.
So
I've
is
seen
that
it.
not really of any benefit whatsoever?
It's there.
Now, even the Islamic medics poo-pooed this idea.
Interesting. So, is there something more practical then that might help me if I come to you with a toothache?
Well, there is. You're quite lucky. First off, it's who you're going to. You're not going to a surgeon. You're going to a barber or a tooth puller. These specialise in doing teeth. If you're lucky and he's well practiced and you've got a
I don't like this guy's smile. Okay, he's weirding me out.
broken tooth, you might actually have a filling.
So, someone like a surgeon just not interested in pulling teeth?
No, it's too lower class. Even though they may recommend
What about the string and door technique?
recommendations and information about the tools, they didn't tend to deal with that. That was a bit too lower class for them.
So, how many of this scary array of tools are you going to use to pull a tooth?
Depends how difficult the tooth is. For example, if it's actually just got a cavity, I might actually just fill it. The trouble is, the filling will contain arsenic. But don't worry, we're not going to do that
Is that a
today.
carcinogen or
You
something?
don't want to get too many teeth filled if there's arsenic in them.
Exactly. So, to remove a tooth, so here's a previous volunteer.
Thank you
Mandible.
very much for saving me from this.
One way we could do, first we would cut the gum, exposing the root. Then we lever the tooth out.
Okay, history
Now, on
hit.
this occasion,
Are
we've
these sound
been
effects
lucky.
necessary?
It has come out quite easily. But what happens if it didn't?
And also,
You get
you're
a
still doing that
raging hard-on because you love this.
with no kind of anaesthetic or anything. You're cutting away at the gums and digging the tooth out from underneath. That sounds really painful.
Oh, it is. We'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Leave. Get out.
I can use a pliers. Good tug. The tooth comes out.
What?
But there is a far worse method. And this is probably one of the worst things I can demonstrate. This is called the pelican. This was invented in the 14th century by Giovanni da Colli. This
Italiano?
was used up until the 18th century. So what we do, we brace the pelican against the jaw,
Oh, that's gotta
You
hurt
hook.
so bad.
the tooth.
I was gonna say, why not just put it against the teeth? It'd be less painful, but then you might just take out teeth unintentionally.
We leave
Oh,
the
good.
tooth out.
Straight.
And that hurts a lot.
And you're
Looks
smiling.
absolutely terrifying. People really pulled teeth like that for 300 years.
Yes. and you run the risk of snapping the tooth off, breaking the jaw.
Why is that a better option than the pliers or cutting the tooth out?
Depends how stubborn the tooth is.
How much the dentist doesn't like you.
There is that too. However, we now need to move on. Where would you be?
Presumably you're not holding my jaw in your hand gently.
Oh no. And you're not going to be sitting comfortably in a nice chair either.
I still don't like that smile on your face, Kevin.
So we'll demonstrate.
Right, Kevin, how have we ended up in this position?
Whoa!
And I presume we're not making some clay pots.
You're about to
No,
make
we're
a
not.
something.
When you had to have a tooth removed, it wasn't a matter of sitting in a nice, comfortable chair. You're in a very, very different position. Now,
See that?
the first thing I've got to do is secure your head to make sure your head remains stable. So I'm going to do that by wrapping
Whoa! Pinky?
my leg around
Sir, I feel your balls on the back of my neck, sir. Just hurry up.
neck.
That's what he's thinking.
So, pop your head there.
That's not making it better.
Now, it's actually quite difficult to get out of this, isn't it?
He's loving
You
this.
need your head secure
He's
because
loving
you're going
it.
to be struggling. You're trying to get out. Now, be careful, or I won't pull the correct tooth.
Dan Snow, we need you to go and do this dentistry history video. I'm not doing that. Send someone else.
Pull the correct tooth.
I would just say, anyone who is scared of the dentist today, you want to be pleased they never do that to you. I've never been that friendly with my dentist before.
You loved it.
Okay, so Kevin, I hope none of that means we're married now. That's all very close and intimate. Having got rid of a painful... None of that means we're married now. That was all
This.
very close and intimate. Having got rid of a painful tooth then, in that really awkward kind of way, is there anything you can do further to help me? I've got a big hole in my mouth now.
Why would you
But
ask that after
if
that?
I still believed in the tooth worm, I'd have to cauterise it. So I'll get my cauterising going, nice and hot in the
You're going to put that in the tooth?
fire. I'd put the little cannula over the top, because we don't want to be burning the gum, and then I'd stab down and I'd kill the worm.
Are you actually just killing the nerves?
Yeah, I'm cauterising the nerve, even though I don't understand that.
The amount of pain that would... That is insane.
Trouble is, you've been left with an unsightly gap. I can actually help with this.
I'm okay.
What we have here is a selection
George Washington.
of false teeth. Believe it or not, these are nothing new.
We were always told George Washington had wooden teeth. Turns out it was slave teeth. Yeah.
The Etruscans, who inhabited Rome before the Romans got there, they invented these. You could have real teeth on some wire or some
And that's functional, not just aesthetic. But so you can eat with these. But then how would you clean them?
carved from animal bone on some wire, and then they'd be fitted alongside the adjacent teeth. And these were still being used all the way through the medieval period. Both Guy de Cheniac, a famous surgeon, mentioned them, and so did Al-Zawi or Albacassus, the Islamic surgeon.
How common and how easy to get hold of are these? Can anyone have a false tooth like this, or is it true that some people wear wooden
Graveyards?
teeth?
No, that's later. At the moment, only the rich can afford these. Actually losing
Where
teeth,
do they get them?
if you're poor, would mainly through an accident. So, and their teeth on the whole tend to be pretty good. This is gold wire.
Well, we're in feudal times, so if the kind of like guy in charge was short on cash, would he like physically take out peasants' teeth to sell, or would...
Replacement teeth, this is for the rich only.
So it's the rich that have the worst teeth health, but also they're able to afford the treatment and the replacement false teeth.
Oh, yes. That's the story of history, really. You know, it's the rich that gets the pleasure and it's the poor that gets the pain.
And if we're looking at replacement real teeth, how are they getting hold of those? Probably sounds like a stupid question.
Teeth that had already been pulled out by the tooth puller or the dentist. All we're doing is the ones that's the best match. Nothing for cosmetic purposes. It's just, okay, that fits.
If you had like a molar as your front teeth.
We'll do that.
So I'm having one of my rotten teeth pulled out and having it replaced by someone else's rotten tooth back in. Wonderful. Sounds amazing.
While people are nervous about historic methods of removing teeth, and a lot of people are, would be frightened, something to bear in mind. The pliers that are currently used to remove teeth were invented in the 19th century, and they haven't changed.
You, sir, need to stop being so happy. He has a rager. All right? He is rock hard over the idea of causing agony through pulling teeth.
Still subject to historic dentistry.
It feels like, in summary, a lot of what we would associate
There's a
with
reason they're not panning down, because he's full mast.
modern dental care is here. You brush your teeth after every meal. You've got a mouthwash to freshen your mouth and do all of that. There are ways of dealing with painful teeth and of having teeth removed and then of putting false teeth back in. It's just that it came with an awful lot more pain than it does now. So I guess next time we go to the dentist, we should be grateful that it's all taking place with anaesthetic and a nice...
Sometimes it hits a nerve and they got to put more anesthesia in, so it's not a great feeling.
It's a clean environment.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, modern day dentistry.
Ooh. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. If you're not doing well, just go to the dentist. Not this guy. No, you'll be fine. Emotions are fickle, my friend. See y'all next time. Would appreciate any comments down below. Would love to see you next video. Bye. See you guys.